I'm joined by Beth Martin from the Disability Networks. This is their logo. And before we started, just remind me, it's almost 5 years ago since we went to your launch.
Yes.
That's amazing.
In Noah Bakehouse.
I do remember it.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've been doing a survey, disability issues on the Isle of Man, very interesting at all times. But you've gone to people, asked their opinions, especially about parking, right? I mean, this is what we're talking about in this one.
Yeah, we were approached via the Chamber of Commerce, the Isle of Man Chamber of Commerce, to see if we could get some feedback from the experts, which is, carers and the disabled, and what their views were on parking and how it could be improved.
What state is it in then? What's it like? I mean, are we allowing the prom in this conversation, by the way? Obviously that's a bit, floats around a bit.
Well, we've got the disabled parking in lots of car parks. 5 years ago, it was a bit of a joke, wasn't it? You would drive up and everywhere would be full except for the disabled parking. But there's been a big difference, a big change over the last 5 years. And now it's right on the edge of is there enough? Because there's so many more people, ageing.
Yeah, and get entitled to the badges. Because they get longer, right, as well, don't they?
Yeah, and that too is one of the things, the feedback that came was that's not consistent either, because I just thought it was all double. But in some places it's just 1 extra hour.
Oh, right.
And that can be confusing, and they would like to, the feedback was they'd like it to be more consistent.
So where do you get this information from? Do people come up to you and just tell you this, or what?
No, we've got a Facebook page, which is Disability Networks, and we put out the call for feedback on that. And then we were also attending the Rotary Fund Day in Ramsey and also Mankind Festival. So ideal opportunity, and we put again out on Facebook that we will be attending, and people came up and told us their views.
So what are the headline things that came out here?
One of the things that came out was that Noble's parking for the disabled is a good size. And that's great to know, because that means that size is probably what we need elsewhere.
You're talking about side to getting out of your car?
Yeah, wider, so that you can get the wheelchair alongside the car.
Yes.
And it's all those and hatchbacks that if you lift up, if somebody's too close, you struggle to get the hatchback up. So there was also the call for slightly longer spaces. So size is everything. So
do people take this into account? Do you think that the line painters, I mean, I don't know whose job it is, need to be think more carefully about these things when they're allocating spaces?
Okay, I think a lot of our car parks have been there for quite some time with the spaces on them. But over time, cars have got bigger. So that's another thing that we always need to be planning ahead. So A, we know there's going to be more disabled, and B, the chances are cars will get bigger. So again, it's adjusting those spaces accordingly.
Okay.
In the design, right at the beginning.
Disabled on roads, I see them, but sometimes I'm never quite sure if they're current ones or they've passed their sell-by, because some of them quite worn out, aren't they?
And the simple act of just repainting them, because I think sometimes people inadvertently use them because they just don't realise that is a disabled space.
And how does that work? If people have a disability, they can apply for this space outside their car if they have no off-street parking?
I believe so.
Yeah.
They'd have to approach the commissioners. The normal just disabled parking relies on the blue badge, and you display that on your car.
So more people are, with the help of these special cars, have more chance still to get around. So disability isn't a limiting factor so much, but there's now pressure on the spaces.
Yes, yeah. So more spaces. It makes business sense to have accessible spaces close to where you are operating your business from, because it just means that if you've blocked that disabled person, they're not usually on their own, there's usually a whole family. So if you're running a cafe or a restaurant, it makes sense to be accessible. What
about abuse? Do you think there is any bit of abuse going on? I mean, I go to a well-known shopping thing in town, and you can't even see a space for disability because they're always full, and you wonder, is everyone there? You're meant to be there.
Yeah, now that is a problem. Hopefully, obviously, the vast majority of people wouldn't dream of using them, but there is a small minority that sometimes do, and I think too there's also the up at the hospital, one of the reports that came back on the research was that somebody had actually seen someone park at, those precious parking spots right outside the hospital.
Yes.
And they parked their car and then walked to the bus stop and caught the bus into town. Yeah. And I just, yeah.
That's
pretty jaw-dropping.
I do like it. This is good news for traffic wardens. Most people found them helpful.
Yes, they did indeed.
A good pat on the back for them, because I'm sure they probably need that from time to time.
Yeah, because you wonder whether we should make them into kind of enabling champions or something. Yeah.
Because they're the front line, I suppose, for making sure that people do display the blue badge and they are meant to be using it.
Yes.
Anything else of note?
I think let's just have a flick through. Very much visual impairment feedback was please don't discourage people from parking on the pavements, because they just walk into them, and that hurts. Yeah. And when the pavement is clear, it's easier for everybody else, be it the pushchair, the shopping trolley, whatever else. So that does that again. And nearly all access issues, they make life easier for everybody, not just those with the blue badge. And
those sort of making sure there's ramps down so people can get over, not having to worry about curbs. I mean, that's pretty well everywhere now, isn't it?
Well, there should be drop curbs by every disabled space, because otherwise how can they get onto the pavement, especially if they're on their own.
Now, you mentioned your Facebook page. You've also got a website. We can put that information up as well. And you're all volunteers?
Yes, we are.
So how's it been going for 5 years?
It's been fascinating, good fun. We finally got onto Facebook. It took us a while, because who was going to do it? And that's been really useful. We used to put kind of fresh posts onto the website, but I think you get a lot further with Facebook.
Fine. There we go. The technology's arrived. And I think from everyone's point of view, just maybe think twice about how they do park cars.
Yes, consideration.
Consideration.